One of the common errors you're going to make as an athlete is you're going to get stiff, okay? Well, maybe it's not a mistake that you intended to make, but it's something that's going to happen. You're going to work out, you're not going to have a proper warm-up, you're going to be in a rush, maybe you're going to get right in your car and not cool down. Whatever it is, it's going to happen, and it's going to be a problem, okay? So one way to buffer that is to mobilize. That's what we're always talking about, right? So stay mobile. What we're going to do today is we're going to work on the lateral seam, okay? When I say lateral seam, I'm talking about posterior lateral seam, okay? So when we're thinking about the posterior side, then we're always trying to think, okay, well, what shape is that going to resemble, right? If I'm trying to improve hip flexion, then I want to work on this posterior lateral seam, right? If I wanted to improve hip extension, then I would want to work on that anterior lateral seam or the anterior compartment, right? What we're going after today is that posterior lateral, right? So get yourself a ball, something semi-rigid 5-inch ball work. That's what I'm going to go for. What we're going to do is we're going to start up here at the greater trochanter, which is that bony prominence at the side of your hip there. And you're just going to put the ball just behind that. And anywhere, they're kind of like an arc behind there is where I like to kind of start out. Anywhere between there is fair game. So let's get the ball on that, behind that greater trochanter, and then we're going to put ourselves into the shape that we're trying to mobilize, right? So then I want to bring this leg up into flexion, and I'm going to bring the other leg back behind me into extension, just so that I can balance the pelvis into a neutral position, okay? So now that we're in that neutral position, I'm going to go ahead and pull the knee up, and then let me get over here so you can see a little better, and then we're going to start working on that tissue, right? So we're thinking about myofascia, right? Myofascia is what we think is causing some stiffness there, is that buildup of that maybe filmy fascia over time. That stuff, that compartment gets stuck, and all of a sudden you're lacking movement options, right? So what we're going to do is just kind of push into that system using the ball or whatever it is that you have, and then mush it around, for lack of a better term. You're just kind of pressing into it, taking it to kind of the compartment, pushing it to its end range in one direction. You can kind of pull yourself into that deep squat position, get into a neutral spine, and then do some contract relax. So big breath in, and contract, 2, 3, 4, and then relax. And exhale. Okay, so you'll notice that kind of at the end of that relaxation, your body might even quiver a little bit or not want to kind of go there. If it doesn't want to let go completely, then maybe it's just a little bit too much pressure. So take a little bit of the weight off, okay, and try it again. Big breath in, contract, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then relax. You want to just keep noodling around with that until you get the desired result, which is ultimately that musculature relaxing or you not feeling pain anymore in that area. And when that happens, you move on to another area. So now we push the system in one direction. Now we want to try and push the system in the other direction. So I've got that ball there. I'm going to pull this way, and now I've kind of taken up all the slack, and all the meat is kind of pushed to the other side, right? So now I've got tension pushing down this way, and I'm going to do contract, relax in that direction. 2, 3, 4, and then relax. Noodle around, see if you still feel something stiff. I still do, so I'm going to keep that tissue trapped in that downward direction. Do another contract, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then relax. And that's heaven. All right, so now I went up, I went down. We also want to go in the other direction, but when I'm going forward and backward, I'm just going to kind of noodle back and forth, just because the compartment moves a little bit along a greater surface area this way, right? So we can kind of push the musculature in this direction when I'm going across the fibers of the musculature. But then when I'm going with the fibers of the musculature, I'm just going to kind of smush kind of up and down that way, okay? And that will get you a little bit more freedom, range of motion, whatever it is that you're looking for, okay? So practice that. I'd say give it about 4 or 5 minutes on each side, and then we'll see you next time.